Well, we say it all the time. Houston is the most diverse city in the country with every race and at least 145 languages spoken. With that said, many names will be mispronounced. As a kid, you were reminded of your unique name or spelling every year publicly on the first day of school. Your teacher paused, you filled in the blank, and some kids even teased you about it. Our next guest and her sister turned that experience into a children's book. Chichi and Didi Love Their Names is a reminder to embrace culture, roots, and to say names with pride. Joining us is the co-author and the real-life Chichi, Dr. Peace Amadi. Hello there.
Hi.
All right, so I said Dr. Peace Amadi. Chichi's nowhere in there, but give us your full name.
Yes, my full name is Chinyere Peace Amadi. So I do go by Peace, my middle name professionally, but my first name is Chinyere.
Yeah, and the meaning of that is?
God's gift.
Yeah, and your middle name was given to you. Literally, when you say words have, or names have power and they have meaning, you know, there are some cultures, I know a lot of us in America will go, I just want to go with what's popular right now. And I'll tell you, I was named Deborah because of Debbie Reynolds. Now, I have nothing to do with her. But my mom goes, that was the popular actress at the time, right? But in countries like Nigeria, it may be what was going on at the time. It may be, you know, what the family was dealing with. But so Peace had a point with your mom.
Absolutely, yes. So I was given Chinyere God's gift for one reason, but a second reason the second name that I was given was Peace, and it's because there was a little bit of tension between my parents' families right before I was going to be born, and when I was conceived, that actually brought peace between the two families. So there was cultural tension, and my presence brought peace, and so they named me after that to remember that.
Yeah, and your sister Didi, patience is what that means.
Yep, and she was given that name because it was a time where my mother needed to practice a lot of patience, and so they named her Patience as a reminder that good things take time.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. So my name Deborah and the meaning means bumblebee. I don't know. I love that. Do you know what? Maybe it just means I'm like sweet like honey.
There you go. But that works.
Yeah, but what's interesting in talking about your story here about how people mispronounce names, I was taken back to a memory I had when my teacher said to me, "Your name's not Deborah." I said, "Yeah, it is." She goes, "No, it's Deborah, because I'm Deborah, and it just dawned on me that I've been mispronouncing my own name for my entire life. But it's that difference in the spelling, though. All right, you have your doctoral degree in psychology, so you have a different perspective of understanding what it means to have a name or to be humiliated over that name.
Absolutely.
And by the way, you're Nigerian. Of course, you have a PhD. But anyway. You understand the power of emotion. You've written the book, Why Do I Feel Like This? Understand your difficult emotions and find grace to move through them. Let's go to this picture book and the experience that you had before that led to this. And of course, you were those kids in school that it would be mispronounced.
Absolutely. So my most common memory of going to school is getting to the first day, having the teacher sort of peer over the roll sheet and hesitate with a pause. And because my last name's Amadi, starting with an A, just kind of knew that she would be struggling over my name.
Right.
And so, and you could tell the teachers are very earnest, but growing up, you start to feel that your name, and because it's different, kind of comes with an awkwardness. And that was hard for a kid to feel like, oh, this is an awkward moment, my name is awkward. And then the most hurtful part would be to actually tell the teacher, yeah, that's me, you know, Chinyere, and then have the kids laugh.
And the kids laugh.
And the kids laugh, you know. So even with the teacher's earnesty, having the kids laugh was a hard experience. So we wrote this book just to encourage kids to see themselves in these stories and to give them sort of the voice and the language to be able to stand up for themselves and say, no, this is my name, and
but part
I'm
of
proud
it's the power of information, because I think a lot of people don't even know what their name means or why their parents named them that. And so your parents had a conversation with you. The reason why you were so able to so eloquently explain, you know, why you were named what your name, now that gives you so much more connection to it.
Absolutely, absolutely. We we wrote this book because we want to help kids be curious about the origin and meaning and the stories behind their name. Because Deborah, there's a story there, right?
There's a bumblebee buzzing around there somewhere.
There's a story there, and I have a past student who told me his son loves this book. His son's name is Frank, and Frank was given that name because it reminded him of his father who had passed. So whether you have a non-American name like mine or a classic American name, there are stories behind these names, and there's a lot of pride that can come from knowing what the story behind your name is.
Yeah, and in reading this book, the wider implication is that everybody can be picked on about something.
Absolutely.
Everyone will go through a moment where they feel humiliated in that moment. But when you can understand that it is not defining of you, and you know how to deflect with it or explain to people why you ended up in that moment, it becomes something that we all universally can connect to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So this book is not only for the kids but for the parents.
Yes, in more ways than one. So one of the reasons we wrote it is because we want parents to understand the importance of teaching kids about the meaning of their name, so they have something to say when kids are making fun of them, but also teaching kids that it's important not to make fun of kids with different names and how that can be hurtful. And so I love, one of my favorite parts is at the end where the kids are making fun of Chichi's name, and then Chichi comes back and says, "This is my name, this is what it means." You know, the same kid who made fun of her was like, I wonder what my name means. So I think there's lessons in every part of it for those who were made fun of, but also for those who are looking at kids who are different and hearing things they've never heard before.
Yeah. And in writing this book, there's power in writing. We had an author on yesterday who helps kids publish their own books. The power of writing experiences like this is you get to change the outcome.
Yes, my favorite thing to talk about. So, you know, me, little Chichi, didn't have a lot of confidence back then to stand up for herself and for her name. So in writing this book, I kind of gave myself a new ending. And so the little Chichi of the book stood up for herself and stood up for her name and was able to share with the class what it means. So the writing is beautiful. It's my air. And like you mentioned, I've written other books, but this was really special in the sense that I got to give myself a new ending.
And it's interesting because the world is big. Somewhere in the world, your name, as simple as it may seem, could be the odd name. I started my early years in Taiwan, and so in Japan, Deborah was not the norm of the name. So I had the odd name at that time, but it's a very common name here in America. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and
Thank you for having
writing
me.
this book. You can find Chichi and Didi Love Their Names wherever books are sold.